We're going to get started then, guys. So I'm going to start us off with tonight's Israel moment, which I was so excited about because for the first time in almost 13 years of living in Israel, I actually made it out to do this. This was a picture taken this past week of a very famous flower in Israel called the kalaniot. And at this time, this season, when the winter rains are slowing down and it's the beginning of our spring, these wildflowers are growing all over the center of the country and the south of the country. And Israelis come from all over to hike and to see the kalaniot. It's a protected species, so you're not allowed to pick it. And it's a very short period. You can see most of the flowers here are wide open, which means that they're soon going to be losing their petals and dying. It's only about a 10-day, 2-week period that you can see them blooming all over, and you see people hiking and coming out to see the kalaniot. So I actually got out and got to see them, and it was really beautiful and a lot of fun last week. And that's something that when you come to Israel and you're here at this time of year, you will see Israelis all over the country doing. Okay, guys. Moving on from our Israel moment, I want to take us back. It's been a couple weeks since we had class when we were talking about the beginning of the Zionist movement and the beginning of the return of the Jews to Israel. And if I can ask someone, maybe Jeremy, I'll put you on the spot. Maybe you can take us. We had looked at the Jews living inside the old city walls, through the first communities and the first 2 aliyot that came to Israel. If you could read for us briefly about the 3rd, 4th, and 5th aliyot.
The 3rd, 4th, and 5th aliyah, 1919 to 1923. 40,000 mostly Eastern European Jews arrive, mostly Halutzim.
Okay, stop 1 second. What does that mean? Can anyone else tell me? Andrew, Jillian, mostly Chalutzim. What did the Chalutzim want to do? The pioneers wanted to do what?
Like make like a village or something, or like something like that.
Build the country, work the land. Great. Jeremy, go on, read the 4th aliyah.
1924 to 1929. 82,000 Jews from Poland, Hungary, and Russia, mostly middle-class businessmen. Can I continue?
Okay, before you continue, Jeremy, answer the question. What do you think, if these Jews were mostly middle-class businessmen, what are they adding to the country?
They're going to be adding, like, different businesses, so you're going to have, like, maybe, like, different stores, and, yeah, basically that's...
Awesome! You're going to have a whole stores and businesses being developed, and go ahead and finish us.
Okay, 1929 to 1939, 250,000 Jews from Eastern Europe and Germany, many professionals, doctors, lawyers, architects, musicians, etc.
Okay, can you take a shot at what they're going to add to the country?
They're going to add hospitals, they're going to basically add a lot of public works and build things and make it more like an actual civilization.
Civilization, awesome word. Hospitals, universities, excellent, excellent. Okay, can anyone tell me, we ended last session talking about something called the Balfour Declaration that was passed in 1917 by the British. Does anyone remember what that was?
I don't think I was there. Or maybe I don't think I was.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Okay, it's been a while, guys. Jillian, do you remember?
No.
Okay, so the Balfour Declaration in 1917, who was in charge here after World War I? Who was ruling? Not the Turks anymore.
The Ottoman Empire.
Okay, when the Ottoman Empire was thrown out at the end of World War I, who came in to rule this area?
Great Britain.
Great Britain. And in 1917, this is important to remember for when we move on now, in 1917, the British passed the Balfour Declaration, which gave the right of the Jewish people to establish their homeland here in Palestine or in Israel. Okay, now we're in 1939, and the British are singing a little bit of a different tune. I want us to pay attention to this little video The Balfour Declaration, British promise Palestine to the Jews. Now listen to the White Paper, 1939.
A white paper is a policy
Email
that the
possibly.
government has formulated and is presenting to Parliament for approval. The White Paper of 1939 was, in fact, the third white paper on Palestine. This was a very different white paper. The paper of 1939 stated that it is true that the British were committed to establish a Jewish national home in Palestine. Well, that Jewish national home has been established. Thank you very much. It's there. They have fulfilled their promise. But they no longer consider that they are committed to allow free Jewish immigration into Palestine. In fact, it is their policy to establish a binational state in Palestine, a Jewish and Arab state in Palestine, which would have a large Arab majority. And they are committed to doing that in stages over a 10-year period. The idea was that the Jews would agree to being a minority in an Arab state in exchange for the Arabs agreeing to the continuation of some sort of level of Jewish immigration. This was the deal that the British had in mind, but it didn't work out that way. The only part of the White Paper that was effectively implemented were the restrictions on Jewish immigration.
Okay, 1939. Now let's just take a look back and remember, between 1919 and 1939, different groups of Jews are coming to Israel, and the Zionist movement is blossoming in Israel. All of a sudden, 1939, we have the White Paper, and the British put the brakes on this immigration. All of a sudden, they're backing away from the Balfour Declaration, and they're limiting the number of Jews that can now come into Israel. What else is happening in 1939, guys? September 1st, 1939, what happens?
Andrew?
Andrew, go ahead.
Germany invades.
I don't know.
I think we know.
September.
Jessica, you want to take a guess?
Germany invades Poland.
Germany invades Poland. Uh-oh, 1939. The Nazis are on the march. World War II starts. Right? Remember, World War II starts, and all of a sudden, the British have said they're not going to let any more Jews come into Palestine. So here, Jews maybe could have kept coming like they did until 1939 to Israel. But now, World War II is erupting, and the British say, White Paper, no more Jewish immigration. So I'm going to ask you guys, I'm going to ask Rabbi Kanaz to drop in this link to this, check this, and I'm going to ask you guys what you think, if you were those Jews living in Palestine at this time, the Yishuv, the Jewish community, what do you think their response should have been to the White Paper? I'm going to ask you guys to vote. Everybody should click into the check this and take a vote.
Excuse me.
Yep, Andrew, go ahead.
Like, you're a little laggy for me. Yeah, you're laggy for me.
I don't understand what that means.
That's okay, Andrew. I think we're done with that video. So
Not just video, but
her voice.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything she can do about it.
Okay.
Do your
Andrew,
best.
why don't you come in and vote?
Okay.
I have a question. Did you guys get my homework from last or a couple of weeks ago?
I did not, Jeremy. I did not. But you know what? Do me a favor. Let's talk about your homework in the chat. Okay, I'll respond to you in chat.
Okay, I did put it in there. In that document.
Okay.
Can I do two?
Well, you can vote for one. I'm forcing you to pick the one that you think the response should have been, okay? Sneak Jews into Palestine, appeal to the UN. Okay. I can't see who is with us. We have 9 participants, guys, so everybody should be voting now. I see that Ethan voted. I see that Jeremy voted. I see that Andrew voted.
I voted too.
I do not see that Ben voted.
Should I do it again?
Yes, hit again, Ben.
Okay.
Okay.
The
Take one
website
more
won't-
second, and then we're going to come out of the vote. Great. Okay, so appealing to the UN. It's so interesting that you guys say appeal to the UN because that would be a great idea. But you know what? There's one little problem with that. Does anyone know what the problem with that is? When was the United Nations founded?
Later.
The United Nations was founded after World War II. So there was no UN at that time to appeal to. So let's go and see what it is that and any of these could have been options. Let's see what it is that the Jews did do. Can someone, Ben, do you want to read this for me? Aliyah Bet, 1939 to 1945. Can you unmute yourself and read that for us?
Yeah.
Great. You have to unmute yourself. Great.
Okay. Aliyah Bet, 1939 to 1945. Tons of thousands of Jews illegally attempted to reach Palestine. Thousands died in boats that were sank, or when they were returned to Nazi Europe, the British sent many to be imprisoned in Mauritius.
In Mauritius, yes.
Mauritius.
Okay, so what was the response? Anybody can jump in, just unmute yourself, guys.
They tried to sneak in, which is what I said, so I was right.
They tried to sneak in. They absolutely did. And at the same time that they were trying to sneak in, they formed a real fighting organization, which we're going to watch a little bit of a clip about this organization that was formed in Palestine at this time. Okay, so in addition to sneaking people in, what was another response to the Yishuv?
They fought.
They fought, they formed a fighting force, and they trained to fight, right? So they cooperated with the British to fight the Nazis, but they began to prepare themselves to create their own state by continuing to sneak in immigrants and by forming the Palmach. And indeed, when World War II ended, between 1945 and 1948, the Jews were well prepared, those who lived here, to begin really sneaking immigrants into the country and really beginning to fight the British.
Am Yisrael chai, Am Yisrael chai, Am ישראל חי, עם ישראל חי, עוד יבינו חי, עוד יבינו חי, עוד יבינו חי, עוד יבינו חי, עם ישראל חי,
These are real pictures, guys, of people who are coming here as immigrants to Israel. Did anyone notice anything about the ships that people were coming from Europe all the way to Israel on? What did those ships look like?
They were black and white.
They were black and white.
They
The
look like the
pictures are black.
Titanic.
They look like the Titanic.
They were very big and they were packed and they had a lot of people on them.
Did they look like they were in good shape, everybody?
Like, well,
Not
not the best shape and not the worst shape, but like a little more towards like worst shape, but more in the middle.
I think you guys hit it on the head. They were very, very crowded. They didn't look like they were the best shape, not the luxury liner Titanic. They looked a little bit, I don't know, that looks a little bit, I would not necessarily want to cross the ocean on a ship that looked like that. But they were doing everything they could to bring people into Israel. And now we've kind of caught up with the entire history of the Zionist movement. And I'm going to ask Rabbi Kanaz to drop in for us the Kahoot. You guys are going to go to Kahoot it, and I'm going to give you the number to type in. And we're going to do a quick Kahoot just to review everything that happened in the 150 years before the signing or founding of the State of Israel. So when you guys get to Kahoot it, you are going to type in this PIN number.
I like Kahoot. Like,
I love Kahoot.
I played it at school.
Okay, guys, so be ready, and everybody should then be typing in this PIN number. Everyone sees the PIN number? 3871426. You type in the PIN number and then you make a nickname. And then you'll come up on the screen. Great. Jeremy, Ethan, and Andrew are in. Let's go, guys.
Jessica, Jesse,
Ben, Jessica, Jesse. You guys see the number?
Jillian, there's Ethan.
There's Amanda.
Jillian, can you put it into your browser in a separate tab? Kahoot it. Hi, Amanda.
Great. There's Jesse and Jillian. Ben, Rabbi Kanaz, can you help Ben get in? So I'm going to go ahead. There's Ben.
Sure.
Fantastic. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and start us. Okay. Jews have always lived in the land of Israel. Yes or no? Yes was the correct answer.
What? Wait,
Always.
but like they moved there.
No, there always was a small community of Jews. Where did the old Yishuv live? The old community of Jews live on small collective farms in walled cities, in the Tzafon or north of the country, in small villages, or in the mountains. Remember, we focused on Yerushalayim. Awesome. The major industry in the old Yishuv was people were busy and earned a living farming, retail sales, bartering, or tzedakah. How did people earn their money?
What's bartering?
Bartering is trading.
Okay.
People relied on tzedakah or charity in the old Yishuv. Well, Jeremy, you are cooking here. These men helped build Mishkanot Sha'ananim, the first community outside the old city walls. Baron Rothschild, Sir Moses Montefiore, the Kaiser, or Judah Toro. There are two answers here, guys. Sir Moses Montefiore and Judah Toro.
Okay.
Still, Jeremy, Amanda is catching up.
I went fourth place.
Both of
Something.
you, great.
The second Aliyah contributed to Palestinian society. Hebrew language, the kibbutz, the Shomrim, or Tel Aviv. And there are three answers here, guys.
I didn't do an answer.
Okay. Amanda has overtaken Jeremy, and Ben is coming up.
Wow.
The third, fourth, and fifth Aliyot wanted to do this. Be pioneers, bring the songs and work the land. Be religious Jews learning in yeshiva. Build a Jewish state, create universities.
Yes.
Okay. Uh-oh, Jeremy has come back, but it is still a close game. Middle-class Russian and Polish Jews and German Jews contributed this to Palestine. Retail and industry, universities and hospitals, cultural institutions like theater, or all of the above. All of the above is right, and most people got that. Okay, in 1917, the British document which stated that Palestine should be the state of the Jewish people, the Declaration of Independence, the Balfour Declaration, the White Paper, or the League of Nations Charter. We just spoke about that. The Balfour Declaration. What did the 1939 British White Paper do? Created a Jewish state, promised the Arabs a state in Palestine, severely limited Jewish immigration to Palestine, or appointed the British the permanent rulers of Palestine. It severely limited Jewish immigration. And, yep, Andrew has come from behind. It is anybody's game. The Jewish response to the white paper was Aliyah Bet, trying to get as many Jews as possible, to fight against the British in World War II, to pray for a better time. Nothing. Aliyah Bet. Okay, and our final question. The pre-state Jewish fighting force was called the Shomrim, the IDF, the Warriors, or the Palmach. And it is the Palmach. The Shomrim were a small group of fighters. And we see it was a very close game. 7 out of 11, 10 out of 11, 5 out of 11. You guys really did fantastic. Thank you, everybody, for cahooting with me. Oh, you want to see all the results? I'll show you all the results. So this gives you your feedback of your top 5 people in the game.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys really did fantastically. We will cahoot again before the end of class. Okay, guys. Now, 1948, founding father David Ben-Gurion stands up and he declares the state of Israel. We're going to watch a couple of minutes of David Ben-Gurion declaring the state.
ביום שישי, ה' באייר תש"ח, 14 במאי 1948, אחר הצהריים, באו המוזמנים אל בניין מוזיאון תל אביב בשדרות רוטשילד 16. הם התבקשו לשמור את סיבת ההזמנה, טקס הכרזת העצמאות, בסוד. אבל בבואם מצאו את חצי העיר ממתינה להם. סמוך לשעה 4 הגיע דוד בן גוריון. כל חייו היו מסע אל הרגע הזה.
זוהי זכותו הטבעית של העם היהודי להיות ככל עם ועם עומד ברשות עצמו במדינתו הריבונית, אשר תפתח לרווחה את שערי המולדת לכל יהודי ותעניק לעם היהודי מעמד של אומה שוות זכויות בתוך העמים. לפיכך נתכנסנו אנו חברי מועצת העם, נציגי היישוב העברי והתנועה הציונית, ביום סיום המנדט הבריטי על ארץ ישראל. ותוקף זכותנו הטבעית וההיסטורית ועל יסוד החלטת עצרת האומות המאוחדות, אנו מכריזים בזאת על הקמת מדינה יהודית בארץ ישראל.
Okay, so 1948, David Ben-Gurion stands up. The Jewish people declare the Jewish state. It's the end of the British mandate. What happens now? Anthony.
They get as many Jewish people as they can. They start getting a bunch of Jewish people in there. They start building houses and getting a community together and everything.
Okay, one thing, what happens is they want to build the Jewish state. What else do you think might happen now?
They get a military. Because they're surrounded by enemies, or does that come later?
They get a military. Okay, anyone else have any other ideas about what happens now? Ethan, Ben, Jeremy.
Well, I know that Israel was kind of in shambles at the time, so they also want to start planting trees and wildlife and bringing life back to Israel. Maybe start developing and trying to get people to come, like Jews, especially because after the Holocaust, a lot of people were displaced. Try to get them to come over to Israel.
Great ideas. If you're building a new state, you want to build, you want to create. Any other ideas? Jesse, Jessica, Amanda, Jillian, Ben.
What do you think is the world's reaction, including the countries right around Israel?
From the countries around Israel, this is a new place for us to take over. For other countries like America and stuff, they think okay.
Okay, there are definitely reactions. Guys, take 10 more seconds and answer for me what you think happens next in Israel. What does Israel want to do? You guys had some great ideas.
Doesn't America become a #1 ally, and also it begins the Independence Day War or whatever? So other countries start to attack or
bingo, Jeremy.
Attack us, and then
Okay. Bingo, Jeremy, you jumped my gun. Okay. So you guys had some great ideas about what it is that Israel would have loved to have done and focused on, which is all the creative pieces and building pieces and addressing everything that you said, Jeremy. But indeed, right away, the day that Israel declared its independence, May 15th, 1948, Israel is forced to face a very big reality of life here in the Middle East, is that we are surrounded by countries who don't want us here. And right away begins the War of Independence, to be followed by 3 more major wars. And now I'm going to ask you guys, Rabbi Kanaz, you're dropping into the chat these links. So Ben, Amanda, and Jillian, I'm going to ask you guys to click into the link that's there with your name, and you're going to do some research about the War of Independence.
Could I suggest maybe that Jillian, why don't you join Andrew, because Ryan and Max are absent, okay?
Oh, both? Okay,
So you do
great.
the second one,
Okay.
Jillian. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Rabbi Kanaz. So Jillian and Andrew, you guys are going to research the Six-Day War.
Okay.
Jessica and Jesse, you guys are going to go to the link and research the Yom Kippur War. And Ethan and Jeremy, you guys are going to research the first Lebanon War, the 1982 Lebanon War. And I'm just going to click in to the War of Independence just to give you an idea. You guys are going to go to a tiny URL, and then you're going to go to a slideshow where you're going to have a little video clip to watch about the war, some background information of the war, and a song that out of each of these wars kind of had a big impact on Israeli society.
What was the video and stuff?
I don't know, that's a very good question.
Are we gonna have to write?
I think I found. Okay, never
It's in
mind.
the link. It's in the link.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
I found
Are
the
we gonna
stuff.
have to write anything, or do we just go through everything?
Of course, you're going to have to write something and share something and create something.
So should we like add another slide and?
Nope. For now, all you have to do is go through and do your research. You're going to take a few minutes and do your research, and if you have any questions, you can pop it into the chat to me.
Oh, by research, you just mean like look at stuff.
Look, think about what's going on in this war. Who's fighting in the war? Why are they fighting in the war? What happens in the war?
I think everyone's going to be presenting. So as you read, keep in mind that you're going to be summarizing what you learned for everyone else. And now we should all mute ourselves and just use the chat if you have questions.
Okay, guys, take another minute to finish reviewing the slideshows that you guys are watching. And keep in mind that we're going to be going to a new learning sharing platform. It's called Reply All. After we learn a couple more things, and then everybody's going to be able to share information, pictures, clips about the war that you just studied so that everyone can learn about all of these 4 major wars. And if you've finished already, you can take a look at the slide that's up now just to get an idea really linearly of the wars that Israel has fought. And as we're going to see, Litza'ari, unfortunately, since 2006, it's not like it's been so quiet here, but has fought from the very beginning in 1948 through 2006. Okay, guys, everybody has focused for a minute on this slide that's up on the screen, on your screen now. So we get a sense that there pretty much has been no time since 1948, or very little time since 1948, when Israel has not been engaged in some kind of a war or fight with the surrounding Arab countries. And because the Intifada is a little bit different than an all-out war, I want us to take a moment to, everybody's with me? It's hard for me because most people have muted. So guys, you could unmute for a minute. Just give me an idea that everybody's with us and we've moved on from the slideshow.
I'm done.
Okay, wait.
I'm good.
I'm
Other
ready.
several things.
Great.
Done.
Okay, so I want to get a sense, because when we look at this timeline, we see that we have these major wars that we talked about, the War of Independence, the Six-Day War, the Yom Kippur War, and the Lebanon War. And then we have what's called the Intifada 1 and the Intifada 2. And I want you guys to get a sense of what the Intifada is before we go on and discuss all of the wars. So, Amanda, can you maybe unmute and read for us the Intifada 1 and Intifada 2, a short summary of them here?
Sure. In the second
Intifada, I know that's a hard word. Intifada, it's a tongue twister.
Palestine terrorists attacked buses, supermarkets, restaurants, and clubs. The Israeli army entered the terrorist strongholds to try and eliminate the terrorists, and encountered many traps which caused many soldiers to be killed or injured.
Okay, guys, I'm going to share with you now for a minute a movie, a video about an attack which was pretty typical of the kind of suicide bombings that were part of the first and the second Intifada. Whoops, excuse me. And it is a little bit graphic.
If they like no sound.
Okay, so that was pretty typical of the kind of attacks. A crowded place where lots of people, men, women, children, families would be gathered, a restaurant, a bus, people traveling to school or traveling to work, and bombs would be blowing up. So these were attacks. It wasn't a war fought the way you guys just looked at wars being fought, but these were attacks in the hearts of cities across Israel and really aimed at Jewish men, women, and children living here in Israel. So the Intifada was a little bit different than a war being fought between soldiers. Okay, Rabbi Kanaz, I saw already put into the chat for you guys the replyall.me that you guys are going to go to now. And I just want to walk you through you guys have to sign in because we're not going to have time to do this now. This is your independent exercise that you guys are going to take home. But I want to walk you through this. I'm asking you to start analyzing Israel's wars. Please share with everyone. That's why I don't want you to do this in 2 seconds. I want you to thoughtfully present the information that you learned about so that those of us who know nothing about the Six-Day War can understand what the Six-Day War is from the information, the text you put in here, pictures, clips, anything that you want to share with us, you can. But you have to first sign in and create an account in Reply All, and then you can post what you want. And your post will come to me. I will approve it. I will post it. And next time, we'll all be able to come onto this conversation where everybody shares information about the war they studied, who fought the war, how was it started, what was its impact on Israeli society. So everyone is going to create an account on
How?
Reply All. You're going to sign in. You're going to sign in. Go to the sign in, go to the menu, go to the sign in.
Sign with what?
You're going to sign up onto Reply All. This is my homepage, and then you can click in. But you see where it says email addresses? You can either type in your email address there, or you're going to sign in to replyall.me. And I'm going to send you guys in an email tomorrow, like I always do, the Reply All address. But what you should be doing right now is thinking about how can you, this is the forum, you can drop in pictures, you can drop in video clips, you can type in text. How can you share the information that you learned about one of Israel's major wars so that all of us can learn together about all of the major wars that Israel has had to face?
Okay.
I have a question. Are you gonna put in the PowerPoint presentations in your email tomorrow?
I can do that if you want. Yes, I'll
Okay,
put that slide for you. Yes.
Okay, I have a question about
yes.
Okay, so it says like in the login bit, it says click here to get started. Is that can I click on that?
You can click on that. It is safe to sign in here, Andrew, and it is safe to create an account here. Yes, I know that's going to be your next question to me. So yes, but I'm going to send it to you guys in the email tomorrow. Okay, and then everybody is going to, I will see your responses. They will come directly to my email for me to approve and post. So next time when we get together, we're going to start class with what I hope is a beautiful line of Reply All, where everybody is really sharing and analyzing about Israel's wars. So thank you guys very much for learning with me tonight.
Okay,
And
so you're going to send an email how to log in.
I'm going to send you an email. You will get the email from me tomorrow like always, okay?
Okay, bye.
Okay, great. And I will send you the links to all the wars. Good night, guys.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night,
Good
Ethan.
night. Good night. Congratulations, everyone. Great work.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good night.
See you Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Ethan,
night,
who's your
Ethan.
friends? Who are your friends? Oh, lost them. Okay.
Oh, why did so many of them have computer glitches tonight? Amanda at one point had no sound. I had
Right.
her
And
reboot.
Jillian also.
Jillian also. And at
Yeah.
one point, Ben had also said, and then his came back.
I don't know.
That was a
And
little.
there was a lag a little bit. And who knows? Who knows what it is? Anyway, you want to take a break?
Yeah, I'm going to take a
Okay.
2-minute break.
See you in
Okay.
10. Okay. Bye.
Hi, Alex. Hi, Spencer.
Hey,
How are you?
pretty good.
Good. Hi, Emily. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Okay, great. We're going to get started, guys. I'm going to take you to what was for me a very exciting Israel moment that I had this week, which is now is the time of year in Israel. It's a very brief window of about 10 days to maximum 2 weeks when this protected species of plant or flower in Israel, the kalaniot, is blooming all over the central and south parts of Israel. And Israelis come from all over to see the kalaniot. And we get very excited, have an attachment to wildlife. You're not allowed to pick it, but school groups come, families come, people go out just to picnic. And I happen to have been on a hike, and all the places that we went, the kalaniot were in full bloom. And it was the first time in 13 years that I actually made it to get to walk through areas where there were lots and lots of beautiful kalaniot, and having the privilege of being part of the wildlife that grows in this country and to get excited over the beginning of spring by experiencing wildflowers here is something that Israelis get to do and that I got to do this week.
I just wanted to add, I saw this Israel moment in the first class, but if everyone could take a look, what kind of soil are those growing in? Alex, Emily, Spencer? What does the soil look like? The ground.
Like rocks?
Yeah. Yes.
Gray.
Yeah. It's a very, very hardy flower, kind of like the Israelis themselves.
Absolutely. Great insight there, Rabbi Kanaz. Absolutely. All the places the kalaniot grow are in the desert or in very sparse, not in rich soil, in very sparse soil. And they are wildflowers. So yes. Okay, guys, I want to take us back. It's been a while since we had class. To a few weeks ago, we were studying all of the beginning of the Zionist movement, the beginning of the creating of the modern state of Israel. We learned about the old Yishuv that lived behind the walls. And as they began to get out of the walls and establish cities is where we ended class. And now I want to look at 1919 to 1939, the third, fourth, and fifth Aliyah. Can someone volunteer to read for us? Who's unmuted?
Spencer, were you raising your hand? Okay, so just call on someone then.
Okay, Emily, do you want to read for us?
The whole thing?
Just start with the first one, 1919 to 1923.
1919 to 1930 to 1923.
Mm-hmm.
40,000 mostly Eastern European Jews arrive, mostly Halutzim.
Excellent. Chalutzim. Okay, the Chalutzim were pioneers. And does anyone remember what we said the Chalutzim wanted to come and do? What did they want to add to Israel or build in Israel? What were they looking forward to doing? I know it's been a while since we learned, guys. Well, the Chalutzim were pioneers. Pioneers generally want to build the land, right? They wanted to work the country, build the land, get into agriculture and physical labor of building the land. Okay, 1924 to 1929, Emily, the fourth Aliyah.
Poland, Hungary, Russia, mostly middle-class businessmen.
Okay, about 82,000 Jews. Businessmen, what did they add to the country? What do you think they might have added? Someone else can unmute and join us. What do you think businessmen might have added to the country? Alex, Taylor, Jordan?
Well, they have improved the economy because they made money.
Awesome, Rebecca. An economy, building up the economy of money. Great. Emily, you want to go back 1929, 1939?
250,000 Jews from Eastern Europe and Germany, many professionals, doctors, lawyers, architects, musicians, etc.
Okay, what do we think these German Jews might have added if they were doctors, lawyers, architects, musicians?
They may have helped just build the community as a whole, like just to build a sense of community and have jobs to do.
Okay, what kind of jobs? I'm going to push you guys on this one. Look at who they were. What do you think they would have been looking to build? Spencer, what do doctors need to build? Hello? Alex, Jordan, Taylor, anybody else with an idea?
I just put it in chat.
Oh, great. Oh, hospitals. Thank you, Spencer. Hospitals for sure. Okay, now we see hospitals being built. Universities being built. Theaters being built. Institutions being built. Okay, so from 1919 to 1939, the country undergoes radical changes. Now, does anyone remember, we ended class last time talking about a document that the British wrote, a British man called the Balfour Declaration. In 1917, the Balfour Declaration comes out and makes a promise to the Jewish people. Does anyone remember what that was? Spencer saying no, consensus no. Okay, I'll remind you quickly because it's very important before we move on to keep this in mind. The Balfour Declaration, 1917, the British after World War I, they come in and they take over in Palestine. They throw out the Ottoman Empire and they declare in the Balfour Declaration that Palestine, that the land which is Israel, should be the home, the national home of what people? Of the Jews, Aiden. Of course, of the Jews. Awesome, Aiden. They declare that Palestine should be the Jewish country. Okay, now we're in 1939, and all of a sudden the British are singing a different tune. Let's see what the white paper was. Okay, so what did the white paper do?
It essentially made things worse. Which is what I got out of the video. They tried to make things better, but it got worse.
It absolutely made things worse. Specifically, the white paper stopped or limited severely Jewish immigration. So we saw until 1939, you had all these different waves of aliyot, of Jews who were coming to Palestine. And all of a sudden, smack 1939, the white paper slams the door shut. No more Jews coming into Palestine. What else happened September 1st, 1939? Rebecca?
That's when the Nuremberg laws were announced, right?
Okay, it was a few years after the Nuremberg laws, but you're definitely on the right path. What happened September 1st, 1939? What breaks out September 1st, 1939? Germany invades Poland and
World War II.
awesome, Aiden. World War II breaks out, and all of a sudden, the Jews are stuck now, right? The Jews are stuck in Europe. They can't come into Palestine. Okay, so we know that there's all these people who've made Aliyah, tens of thousands of Jews living into Israel. Rabbi Kanaz has put into the chat for you guys a check this, and I want to ask you guys to come into the check this and add your votes to what do you think the response of the Jewish community in Palestine, of the Yishuv, should be to the white paper? Should they allow 75,000 Jews to enter anyway, sneak Jews into Palestine, form an army and fight the British? Or should they appeal to the UN to allow in more Jews? You guys should go to the chat, follow the link. Okay, Rebecca's voted already to appeal to the UN.
I don't see the link.
Spencer, go into the chat.
Oh, there
it's
it
in
is.
the chat. Okay, great. Can you
HTTP.
Okay, can you
// Oh, there it
Can
is.
you
Yeah.
mute yourself, Spencer, please? Thank you. Okay. Alex is going out with sneaking Jews into Palestine. A lot of people want to appeal to the UN. Taylor coming in at the UN, Aiden coming and appealing to the UN. Okay, guys, can someone tell me when the UN was formed? Does anyone have any idea?
I don't know.
Maybe after World War I, Aiden, that's an excellent guess. It was actually formed after World War II, kind of as a response to the war. It was formed after World War II. So appealing to the UN was not even an option at this time. Now we're going to go ahead and see what it is that the Jews actually did to fight the white paper or to respond to the white paper. Can someone read to me Aliyah Bet, 1939 to 1945? Jordan, do you want to unmute and read for us?
I'll read.
Oh, Jack, you're here. Sorry, Jordan, I'll catch you next time. Hi, Jack, nice to see you. Go ahead and read.
Nice to see you too. Aliyah Bet, 1939 to 1945. Tens of thousands of Jews illegally attempted to reach Palestine. Thousands died in boats that were sunk, sank, or when they were returned to Nazi Europe. The British sent many to be imprisoned in Mauritius.
Mauritius, yes. Okay, so what was the response? What did they try and do? Between 1939 and 1945, Jack, go ahead.
They tried to sneak into Palestine.
They sure did. They tried to sneak as many Jews as they could into Palestine. And they also worked on forming what would be the first big united Jewish fighting force. And we're going to take a little look at that now. Okay, so we see here that not only did the old Yishuv, they didn't fight against the British, but they formed this fighting force, the Palmach, who even helped fight with the British against the Nazis, and would then, we're going to see in a little while, form the basis for the Jewish army that would exist after the founding of the state. So 1945 comes, World War II ends, but the British are still in charge here in Palestine. And between 1945 and 1948, with Aliyah Bet, with Aliyah Bet, the Yishuv is still trying to bring as many Jews as they can, but now this is after the Shoah. Okay, guys, what did you think of those ships? What did they look like to you? What were the conditions on the ships? What did the boats look like?
They looked like old and beat up.
Old and beat up. They looked that way to me. What else did you think of the ships?
They seem very dirty and unsanitary.
Dirty and unsanitary. What makes you think that, Rebecca?
It was just the way how everything just looked. I don't even know how to describe it because it was all black and white, but how there were like dark patches, it just looked to seem kind of grimy.
Okay. They look really, really crowded, dirty, unsanitary. That was very, very perceptive. Old, rickety. People were getting on any kind of boats that they could and looking cramped, Aiden, absolutely. Very cramped, and trying to get to Israel any way that they could. So that was going on between 1945 and 1948, which takes us from the middle of the 19th centuries, the 1860s, when we started looking at the old community in Israel, until 1948 and the founding of the state. And you guys are going to click onto Kahootit. I'm going to give you a number to type in, and we're going to take a quick review of all of pre-state Zionist history so we can move on to the founding of the state.
So I don't think you can click on it, but
no, you have to type in Kahoot.
You have to copy it and paste it into your browser.
Or you just type in Kahoot.it into your browser. And I'm going to give you the number of the game that you're going to put in. You're going to type in 586-4008 for your game pin. Put in your nickname, and then we can get started. I wish I found that hot tub.
Is there any way to make it so that Kahoot is muted?
No. Sorry.
It's just too loud.
Hannah, the pin is right here on the screen, 586-4008.
You can actually mute the tab that you have open.
Alana, I'm sorry?
You can mute the tab that you have open.
I know I can, but I'm not going to mute the Kahoot.
Please
Is anyone missing here?
Please mute it.
Yes, we are missing. We are missing, guys. Let's hurry up and check in because we're going to go ahead and play the game.
Can you please mute the Kahoot thing?
Spencer, you can turn down your volume for now. Just go down to your volume and turn it down.
Yeah, but I won't hear you as much either.
Don't worry, you'll see it on the
That's okay. You'll see it on the screen.
No, I mean, I need to actually hear what you're saying. I don't need the Kahoot volume
Okay,
going
that's
full
okay,
blast in my
Jolie.
brain.
It'll be done soon.
Great, Alana.
Hannah, the pin is right on the screen. 586-4008.
Yes, Hannah and Andrew are in already.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
All
Come
right.
on, guys. We're waiting for one more person. Great. Okay. Super, Jolie. We're going to get started. There are 11 questions. Jews have always lived in the land of Israel. Yes or no?
That is some Jews. There are some Jews.
Correct. There's always been Jews living in the land of Israel. Yes or no? Absolutely, yes. And Jack is, close game already. Where did the
Excellent.
old Yishuv live? On small collective farms in walled cities in the Tzafon or north of the country, or in small villages in the mountains. The original Jews who always stayed living in the country lived in these.
Can you please turn it down?
Spence, take off your headphones. You don't need them.
Yeah, I do.
Awesome job, guys. In walled cities, as we talked about the Jews in Yerushalayim, the major industry in the old Yishuv was people made their money by farming, retail sales, bartering, or tzedakah. The old Yishuv survived on tzedakah, which most
Wow,
of you
this
got that.
class is amazing.
Fantastic. These men helped build Mishkanot Sha'ananim outside the old city walls in Jerusalem. There are two answers: Baron Rothschild, the Kaiser, or Sir Moses Montefiore and Judah Turo. One man was a famous American Jew.
I don't need them.
And that was Sir Moses Montefiore and Judah Turo. Awesome. Wow, you guys really knew that. Something the second Aliyah contributed to Palestinian society. The Hebrew language, the kibbutz collective farm, the Shomrim or Jewish armed guards, or Tel Aviv. There's more than one answer here, guys. In fact, the second Aliyah contributed all of these things. The third, fourth, and fifth Aliyot wanted to do this: be pioneers and drain the swamps and work the lands, be religious Jews learning in yeshiva, create universities, or build a Jewish state.
What?
They wanted to build the Jewish state, and they were responsible for draining the swamps and working the lands, and you guys really knew that. Awesome. Oh my gosh, you guys are creaming the first class. You should have played each other.
Jack. Wow.
Middle class Russian and Polish Jews and German Jews contributed this to Palestine: retail and industry, universities and hospitals, cultural institutions like theater, all of the above. All of the above. And oh my gosh, wow. I don't think the winner had that much last time. 1917 British document which stated that Palestine should be the state of the Jewish people. Declaration of Independence, the White Paper, the Balfour Declaration, the League of Nations Charter. The Balfour Declaration. Wow, I am super impressed. Okay, what did the 1939 British White Paper do? Created a Jewish state in Palestine, promised the Arabs a state in Palestine, severely limited Jewish immigration to Palestine, appointed the British the permanent rulers of Palestine. Severely limited Jewish immigration to Palestine. The Jewish response to the White Paper was Aliyah Bet, trying to get as many Jews into the country, to fight against the British in World War II, to pray for a better time, or to do nothing. Aliyah Bet, sneaking in as many Jews as possible, and you guys knew that. And finally, the pre-state Jewish fighting force was called the Shomrim, the IDF, the Warriors, or the Palmach. Absolutely was the Palmach, and wow, oh my gosh, you guys did fantastically.
Who is I found a hot tub? Who is that?
Hey.
Who's me?
Aiden.
Aiden,
Amazing.
all
Right.
really, really awesome, guys. Really incredible. Who was the legend?
Hey, Jacob. All right.
Really, really awesome, guys. Kol hakavod to all of you. You guys really, okay. So now we know what happened until 1948. Come 1948, the founding father, anybody know who that is? That gentleman standing up there?
The white fuzzy hair.
Not Albert Einstein. Anyone know who he is?
David Ben-Gurion.
Absolutely, Jack. David Ben-Gurion declares.
Good job, Jack.
The state of Israel. This is the actual declaration of the state of Israel.
ביום שישי, ה' באייר תש"ח, 14 במאי 1948, אחר הצהריים, באו המוזמנים אל בניין מוזיאון תל אביב בשדרות רוטשילד 16. הם התבקשו לשמור את סיבת ההזמנה, טקס הכרזת העצמאות, בסוד. אבל בבואם מצאו את חצי העיר ממתינה להם. סמוך לשעה 4 הגיע דוד בן גוריון. כל חייו היו מסע אל הרגע הזה.
זוהי זכותו הטבעית של העם היהודי להיות ככל עם ועם עומד ברשות עצמו במדינתו הריבונית, אשר תפתח לרווחה את שערי המולדת לכל יהודי ותעניק לעם היהודי מעמד של אומה שוות זכויות בתוך העמים. לפיכך נתכנסנו אנו חברי מועצת העם, נציגי היישוב העברי והתנועה הציונית, ביום קיום המנדט הבריטי על ארץ ישראל. ותוקף זכותנו הטבעית וההיסטורית ועל יסוד החלטת עצרת האומות המאוחדות אנו מכריזים בזאת על הקמת מדינה יהודית בארץ ישראל, היא מדינת ישראל.
Okay, now it's official. Israel is the Jewish state. So what do you think happens now? Jewish state is declared. Asma, what now?
Lots and lots of international argument.
Lots and lots of international argument. Definitely since 1948. But at that moment in 1948, what's going on?
What do you think is the first thing that happens?
Aiden, Palestine gets mad and wants land back. Okay, but remember, Palestine was what the area was called. It was the Jewish state area then. But yes, the Arabs get mad. Okay, for sure that's one thing. What do you think the Jews wanted to do?
Well, let me ask this question. The Arabs get mad. More Laurie said the Arabs get mad. What Arabs are we talking about? Certainly the Arabs living in the area of Palestine, but what other Arabs? What other countries are we talking about around there? Can anyone name one? What's another Arab country in the Middle East?
Okay, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Yemen, Syria.
Excellent,
Aiden, kol hakavod. Kol hakavod.
Egypt.
Okay,
Jordan.
so absolutely, the Arab countries got mad. So what happens next? Instead of Israel being able to start building the country, building homes, providing a place for all these immigrants who were coming, the Arabs surrounding Israel are not only mad, but they declare war on Israel at the very same time that Israel is declaring its independence. So Aiden, you hit it. Syria, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Egypt, all of the surrounding countries declare war on Israel. And so begins Israel's very first war, the War of Independence, which begins in 1948. And now I'm going to ask you guys, Rabbi Kanaz is putting for you into the chat links. Spencer, can you mute yourself, please? Is putting for you into Andrew and Hannah, can you guys mute yourselves? Is putting for you in the chat the links to these different wars that I'm going to be asking you to research. So Jordan, Andrew, Hannah, and Alana, you are going to the War of Independence. Jacob, Rebecca, Lindsay, and Alex, you are going to the Six-Day War. Jolie, Taylor, Aiden, and Emily, you are going to the Yom Kippur War. And Spencer, Jack, I'm not sure if I didn't see Sophie. If Sophie was here.
Sophie's absent.
Okay.
Sophie's absent. That's okay.
Okay.
They're
you
good
guys,
because Spencer
Sophie
and Jack can do
Spencer and
it.
Jack, you guys are going to go to the Lebanon War. You guys are going to watch the slideshow. There's information for you to read, information for you to watch, a song which captured the mood of the country in each of the wars for you to listen to. And I want you to be looking at this information, thinking about the fact that you are going to share this information so that Jordan, Andrew, Hannah, and Alana, everybody else who is not learning about the War of Independence here is going to be able to get information about the War of Independence from you. Same thing about the Six-Day War, the Yom Kippur, and the 1982 War. So I'm going to ask you guys to go into the chat, click on your links. Please, everybody, mute yourself. And if anybody has any questions, you can drop them into the chat for me.
Just click on the links and learn the information. You're going to be using that information a little later.
I finished reading.
Okay, check the chat, Jack, and take a look at what's up on the screen now. Guys, as you finish up, you can take a look at the timeline that's on the screen and you can respond to the question in the chat. You can respond in the chat. Okay, guys, so if everyone joins us by looking at the screen, you can get a sense of this timeline. And I asked you guys to tell me what you think this timeline tells us about some of the challenges that Israel faces. And absolutely, Aiden saw it, Alana, Rebecca, Taylor, Spencer, that pretty much since the founding of Israel in 1948 through to current times, and we're going to see as we go on that really through to current times, absolutely, Aiden, that Israel has pretty much been at war. And you guys just took a look at and are soon going to share information about the major wars that Israel fought. But I want you to take a look at in 1987 and 2000, Israel fought the Intifada, which unlike these other wars, which took place more between armies, the Intifada was a war directed at Israel civilians. And can I ask someone, maybe Rebecca, do you want to unmute and read for us about the Intifada? Rebecca, are you there?
Yes, I was just getting the family to quiet down. In the second Intifada, Palestinian terrorists attacked buses, supermarkets, restaurants, and clubs. The Israeli army entered terrorist strongholds to try and eliminate terrorists and encountered many traps, which caused many soldiers to be killed or injured.
Okay, guys, we're going to take a little bit of a look at one of those attacks, which was on a pizza store in downtown Jerusalem. It is a little
Laurie,
bit.
I'm sorry. Laurie?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
I meant to mention this before. Could you turn it off? I think if you could just go to right to the homework assignment, that would be better. Okay?
Okay. Okay. What we are going to do is I'm asking you guys to share, and understanding that the Intifada and Israeli citizens being attacked in restaurants, in malls, on buses is also a very significant and important part of what life is like and the challenges that Israelis face living here. That this, as almost every single one of you saw, that Israel has been at war from 1948 right up until today, and that continues with attacks on Israeli citizens and civilians all across the country. Rabbi Kanaz is putting for you guys in the chat now a link to something called Reply All. Reply All is something, and I'm going to send you guys this in the email that I send you tomorrow. It is a sharing platform where I'm asking you guys to share with everybody else information about the war that you just studied. Who fought the war? How was the war started? What was the impact of that particular war on Israeli society? And you can drop in pictures, you can drop in clips, you can drop in text to share information about the war that you studied. And the way that you have to use Reply All is you have to create an account. So once you've created your own account, you can click onto this Reply All page and you can respond to the war.
Glad you're
So
done.
I'm going to send you guys the link to the Reply All. I will include for you guys the links to your slideshows so you can review information about the war that you guys just learned about. And I'm going to ask you between now and next time we meet to prepare a way of sharing information about the war that you learned about so that we will all be able to scroll down and all of us will be able to get a good overview of all of Israel's wars. Okay, so I will send you that email tomorrow, and you guys will send that back to me before our next class so I can put up the Reply All for everybody. Okay, thank you guys for learning with me tonight, and I will see you next week. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
See you Wednesday.
See you Wednesday.
Good night. See ya.
Good
Good
night,
night.
Spencer.
Good night.
Sorry. Night, Aiden.
Good night,
Sorry about
Aiden.
that, Laurie.
That's okay. That's
I
okay.
apologize.
You don't need to apologize. Good night. Have a
Good
good night.
night.
Bye.
See you next week.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.